Welcome back, everyone. In the previous lesson, we had created our object counter score and is keeping track of how many coins that we collect. But just so we know what object it is counting, I want to go ahead and create another part of the interface. So let's go ahead and make sure we're on layer 2. And with layer 2 selected, we're going to create a new object and just select the counter, hit OK. We're gonna bring it right next to our actual counter here. And this one's just gonna be, let's rename it to obj coin icon and hit OK. And now with it selected, let's go over here into the settings and we're gonna scroll down, and where it says type, you're gonna go from numbers and select animation. And now once the animation is selected, double click on it and we're going to open the coin icon, hit OK, hit OK, and now let's just rearrange it here just so it's lined up correctly. I'm just going to move it a little bit more precisely with the arrow keys on my keyboard. And now when we hit play, you can see it's there and it looks just a little bit more professional. There's also something else I wanted to add, and this was going to be our lives. So still on the layer 2, double click, and what we're going to do is search lives. And now let's add our lives here. As you can see, they're just 3 hearts. That's a little boring. Okay, really quick. So I just finished the lesson and was going through the video, and I realized that some of the image editing was cut off. So coming back into here, you can see that I had already set some images here. I'm just going to show you how to do it really quick because it had cut off. So let me resize this back to a size that fits on the screen. And basically what I did was I opened our player idle and I hit open. That resized it to this. And with the double arrows selected here, I made sure stretch was selected, and then I set it to 48 by 48, and I hit apply and then OK. And then I just simply brought it up to here. And now we'll resume the rest of the video. And there we go. Oop. Let me actually make sure it's selected here. And we're just going to drag this up to the top left, about right here. And we'll make it a little bit wider, so that way you can actually see 3 of them. Okay. And now let's go into our code editor, because as of right now, if we are to die, nothing happens. It doesn't remove any lives. So let's go ahead, go into our code editor. So instead of when we collide with the saw restarting the frame, what we can do is delete this, and we can head over here to our object player, and let's go ahead and set the position, and we'll just select a position, and let's get him out of the saw's way. Since the saw always starts here when the game restarts, or actually, it's not going to be restarting the frame, so we can just drag it to about right here. And let's go ahead and make it a little bit easier for our player. Let's hit OK. We're going to go back to our window here, our frame, and let's drag our saw over. Let me go back, turn back, snap to grid. There we go. And we'll just bring this over to about right here. And we'll leave that where it is. That's fine. So now we hit play. The saw is only going to be moving between those 2 areas. Okay. So that seems to be working. And if we hit it, it should automatically jump us to that area that we selected. Okay, so now that we got that working, let's work on our lives. So let's go back to the code editor. So we're going to do when our player collides with the saw, we're going to come underneath our player one object here. We're going to right click on it and set number of lives and subtract from number of lives 1. And now when we hit play, when we hit it, it deletes one of our lives. There's 2 and 3. But nothing happens. It doesn't restart the game or anything. So what we can do here is we can say new condition. We can say underneath the player object, come down to compare two players' number of lives. And if it's equal to 0, we'll hit OK. Then underneath our storyboard controls, we can right click and say restart the current frame. So now if we hit play and we hit it, there's 1 life, there's 2 lives, and now on this third one when we die, it should bring us back to where we originally spawned and the coin should be back. But that froze the screen. So that froze the screen because at the start of the frame, we need to set the number of lives to 3. That's because what it was doing was it was saying it was 0 and it stayed at 0. So now when we run it, there's 1, 2, and then 3, and there we go. It restarted perfectly. No errors. Okay, so with that being done, let's go back into our frame editor. There's something I do want to change here because um, when I pause the recording, the saw actually hit the objects here. The object enemy bounced right and left, and it went flying off on the screen. So that's because we're using find detection, and find detection is pixel perfect. So say one of these gears hits it right in the right order, it's going to send it bouncing off in a random angle. So let's go ahead and just select this one, and we'll come down to the runtime options, and we'll uncheck use find detection. We'll also uncheck destroy object if it's too far from the frame. And let's do the same for our saw blade. So undetect, find detection, and the destroy object. And we'll do the same for this final object. Okay, and really quick before I forget, we will also set inactive if too far from frame to no, because that can also cause some issues. Let's do that for all 3 of these. And then we'll also check follow the frame. And I believe that is everything aside from a little bit of groundwork here. So let's just, with our object enemy selected, we're going to hit up twice on the arrow key. We'll do the same thing here and here. And now if we hit play, that should take care of all the bugs. And with that being done, we will go ahead and leave it off here. In our next lesson, we will be handling audio for whenever we collect coins or whenever we die, and once we select all the coins in the room. So a way to beat the game. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.